ever wondered, what are my spiritual gifts and how do I use them? How do I find my spiritual gifts? Well, a good place to start is to simply begin by understanding what is meant by a spiritual gift. When we use the term gift, we often think it's something that somebody gives us to use for ourselves. Well, that's not what the biblical term in Greek charisma is referring to. It is something given by God to us to turn around and use for the benefit of the church. So a spiritual gift is not inward focused on us. It's something we have that is to be outward focused to bless the church itself. In fact, Jesus tells a famous parable in Luke 19 about 3 people who've been given talents or a sum of money to use. The first 2 invest it. The third one hides it away, afraid to use it. Jesus blesses the first 2, but is harshly critical of the third. So our gifts are to be used to serve the church. So how do you find your spiritual gifts? Well, I think the first place is to just look at the biblical passages and make sure you understand the different gifts. Read passages like 1 Corinthians chapter 12, Romans chapter 12, Ephesians chapter 4, and 1 Peter chapter 4, and understand what's the difference between, say, teaching and preaching, evangelism, and, say, mercy. It begins by understanding what these gifts are. Second, ask somebody who knows you. Ask a teacher, ask a friend, ask a coach, ask a neighbor, ask your parents. There's been times in my life where I've asked people, what spiritual gifts do you think I have? And they have seen things I never would have seen on my own. Third, just try it out. Try out spiritual gifts. Don't be afraid to fail. And I think you'll find that other people will give you feedback and you'll have a natural knack in most cases to use those gifts. And then last, pray for wisdom and be patient. It takes time to understand and to cultivate these gifts. In some circumstances, it can take decades. But I do know this, when we understand the gifts that God has given us and we use them to bless the church, guess what happens? We in turn get blessed in unimaginable ways.